Have you ever wondered why some churches are built underground? What makes these hidden spaces so special that people are willing to carve them out of the earth itself? Is it for protection, spirituality, or simply the desire to create something truly unique? From ancient catacombs to modern salt mines, underground churches have a fascinating history. So, what is it about these sacred spaces that draws so many? Stick with me as we uncover the secrets behind why some of the most remarkable churches are built beneath the surface. Early Christianity. In the early days of Christianity, believers often found themselves under intense persecution by the Roman Empire. For centuries, practicing the Christian faith publicly could lead to arrest, torture, and even death. As a result, early Christians had to be creative about where and how they worshipped. They turned to catacombs, tunnels, and underground spaces as hidden sanctuaries. These catacombs, primarily used for burial, were also transformed into places of worship, allowing the early Christians to gather in secret to celebrate the Eucharist, pray, and strengthen their community. What's fascinating about these underground churches is that they became symbolic of the faith's resilience. Despite the oppressive environment, these Christians continued to practice their beliefs in the face of immense danger. The catacombs were not only practical, but also held deep spiritual significance. The darkness of the earth above them was seen as a representation of Christ's death and resurrection, providing a powerful metaphor for the faith's triumph over adversity. Today, these catacombs remain a testament to early Christian courage, preserving sacred murals and relics that still draw pilgrims and tourists, reminding us of a time when worship meant risking everything. So imagine what it must have been like, gathering in the cold, quiet darkness, knowing that even the smallest betrayal could lead to execution. This unique aspect of Christian history highlights the true spirit of faith and the lengths people will go to when the desire for spiritual connection outweighs the fear of persecution. It also brings an essential lesson about community and the power of shared beliefs, even in the most challenging times. Underground church in China. Fast forward to modern times and the concept of the underground church takes on a whole new meaning, particularly in places like China. In this context, underground doesn't just refer to literal underground spaces, but rather to churches that operate secretly or unofficially. In China, the government controls religious practices through organizations like the Catholic Patriotic Association, which oversees all officially sanctioned churches. However, not all believers agree with this control. Many Christians, especially Catholics, choose to worship outside of this system, leading to the rise of what are now called underground churches. These underground churches, often hidden from the prying eyes of the authorities, serve as a safe haven for believers who refuse to compromise on their religious freedom. Without the government's approval, these churches can face persecution, with pastors and congregation members risking arrest, surveillance, and even punishment. Yet despite these dangers, they persist, continuing to meet in secret homes, basements, and sometimes even in the wilds of rural areas where the risk of detection is lower. What's compelling about these underground churches is the strength of their faith and resolve. They embody a kind of quiet rebellion, where the act of worship becomes an act of resistance. These believers are willing to risk everything to practice their faith freely, choosing authenticity over control. And just like in the early days of Christianity, the underground church in China is a powerful symbol of the human desire for spiritual freedom. It also prompts us to reflect on the lengths people go to protect their beliefs, even when faced with immense challenges. Imagine the courage it takes to attend a secret church meeting in a hidden location, knowing that being discovered could have serious consequences. This modern-day underground church highlights the universality of the need for spiritual expression and the enduring struggle for religious freedom, no matter where you are in the world. Ethiopia's Rock-Hewn churches. In the heart of Ethiopia lies a breathtaking feat of architectural wonder, the Rock-Hewn churches of Lalibela. These incredible structures were carved directly into solid rock during the 12th and 13th centuries, under the reign of King Lalibela, who envisioned them as a new Jerusalem. The king's goal was ambitious: to create a holy site that could rival Jerusalem itself, providing Ethiopian Christians with a sacred place of pilgrimage. However, instead of building traditional churches from stone, King Lalibela sought something far more extraordinary. The churches are entirely hewn from the living rock of the Ethiopian highlands, making them not only places of worship, but also masterpieces of engineering and artistry. Each church is an intricate creation, chiseled and sculpted by hand from the rock, with awe-inspiring facades, intricate carvings, and breathtaking interiors. Some are connected by underground tunnels, while others stand independently, each reflecting the devotion and ingenuity of the artisans who worked tirelessly to bring this vision to life. The spiritual significance of these churches cannot be overstated. For Ethiopians, they represent more than just a place of worship. They are symbols of divine protection and connection to the past. The Rock-Hewn churches have become a living testament to the faith and resilience of a people who, for centuries, have faced countless challenges, yet have continued to uphold their traditions. Pilgrims come from all over the world to visit this sacred site, walking in the footsteps of generations who have sought spiritual solace in these rock-bound sanctuaries. What makes Lalibella's churches so captivating is not just their incredible craftsmanship, but their deep connection to Ethiopian Christianity and history. The church's underground nature, carved directly from the earth, symbolizes the ancient Christian belief in Christ's burial and resurrection. In a sense, these churches embody the spirit of both sacrifice and transcendence, marking a holy space where the earth itself becomes sacred. Medieval Christian hermits. Long before the grand cathedrals of Europe were built, early Christian hermits were already establishing a deep connection with the earth through the use of caves and underground spaces. These hermits, inspired by figures like Saint Anthony, sought out solitude in nature, retreating to caves in deserts and wildernesses where they could dedicate their lives to prayer and ascetic living. These secluded places were often chosen for their quietude and isolation, offering a refuge from the distractions of the world and a direct link to the divine. Caves, in Christian symbolism, held significant meaning. They were not only physical places of refuge, but also represented the tomb of Christ, linking the hermit's experiences to the very heart of the Christian narrative. Many hermits believed that by living in these cave-like spaces, they could more closely replicate the suffering and sacrifice of Christ, thus deepening their spiritual connection. These caves became holy sites, revered as places where the divine presence could be felt more strongly. In later centuries, as Christianity spread and became more institutionalized, the influence of these early hermits remained. The idea of building churches in caves, spaces that mirrored the sacred tomb of Christ, became a powerful spiritual expression. Churches built into natural caves or dug into the earth were often seen as physical manifestations of the Christian journey, from death to resurrection. It's a profound image, a building that emerges from the earth itself, much like Christ emerging from the tomb, representing hope, renewal, and divine mystery. The practice of using caves as places of worship persisted throughout the Middle Ages, especially among monastic communities. These underground churches often had a humble, austere beauty, with natural rock formations serving as both walls and ceilings, evoking a sense of intimacy and divine closeness. Even today, visiting such a church evokes a sense of awe, as the very ground beneath you feels imbued with centuries of prayer, sacrifice, and quiet devotion. These underground spaces, once chosen for their solitude, became powerful symbols of Christian asceticism and connection to the divine. Cave churches. In areas where the land itself is a natural canvas of rock and stone, churches have been carved directly into the earth, blending humanity's need for sacred space with the grandeur of nature. Cave churches are some of the most unique and awe-inspiring religious sites around the world. These remarkable structures harness the natural formations of caves and rock, transforming them into places of worship that feel as ancient as the earth itself. From the soft echoes of whispered prayers to the deep sense of reverence evoked by the cold stone walls, these underground churches create a powerful atmosphere that is hard to replicate. Caves have been used for centuries as places of solitude, refuge, and worship. In many regions, these natural formations offered an ideal solution for early Christians and other religious communities seeking to create sacred spaces without the need for costly construction. The raw simplicity of a cave church often serves as a profound reminder of the humility and austerity of early Christian life, where worship was more about connection to the divine than about ornate decoration. The practical aspect of using caves for churches is evident in the fact that they provided natural protection from the elements. In regions with harsh climates or potential threats, these underground sanctuaries offered a safe haven for religious gatherings. But beyond their practical uses, the symbolism of a church built into a cave speaks to the human desire to create holy spaces that connect not only with the heavens, but also with the earth itself. By building within the very ground we walk upon, these churches embody the idea that the divine is not distant but close, present in every stone and every crevice. Today, many of these cave churches remain active places of worship, attracting pilgrims who seek spiritual renewal in these natural sacred spaces. Whether hidden deep in the desert, nestled in the mountains, or carved into rocky hillsides, cave churches continue to be symbols of faith and resilience, standing the test of time as living testaments to the enduring human connection to the earth and the divine. Salt Cathedral of Zipaquirá. Among the most stunning examples of underground churches is the Salt Cathedral of Zipaquirá, located in the heart of Colombia. This remarkable Roman Catholic church is built within the tunnels of a salt mine, creating a worship space unlike any other. As you descend into the mine's depths, the cathedral reveals its grandeur, a vast, awe-inspiring space that combines faith with the raw power of nature. Carved entirely from the salt of the earth, the Salt Cathedral is not just a place of worship but a true testament to human ingenuity and reverence for both the natural world and the divine. The history behind this unique church is as fascinating as the structure itself. The idea of constructing a church within the salt mines of Zipaquirá originated in the 1930s when miners, who had been working in the tunnels for years, began using the mine's natural formations as places of prayer. Over time, this humble practice grew into something much more significant. The modern Salt Cathedral was officially opened in 1995, and its breathtaking beauty quickly made it a renowned landmark, attracting millions of visitors each year. What sets the Salt Cathedral apart is not just its location, but the way it transforms the very substance of the earth into a space for sacred reflection. The dark, gleaming salt walls seem to absorb the prayers of those who walk through them, creating an ethereal atmosphere that deepens the spiritual experience. Visitors often speak of the overwhelming sense of peace and awe they feel as they move through the cathedral, marveling at the contrast between the industrial environment of a working mine and the serene holiness of the church. The Salt Cathedral is more than just an architectural wonder, it's a symbol of the incredible ways that human creativity and faith can merge with nature. It reminds us that spirituality can be found in the most unexpected places, even deep beneath the Earth's surface. In a place that was once dedicated to mining a resource for earthly use, a space for spiritual elevation and connection with the divine has been created, a powerful metaphor for the transformation of human life and the pursuit of transcendence. Thanks for joining me on this journey into the world of underground churches. It's incredible how these hidden spaces combine faith, history, and architecture in such unique ways. If you enjoyed this exploration, don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss out on new content. Subscribe to Dwellscape for more fascinating architectural stories, and feel free to leave your thoughts or questions in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. See you in the next video.